Hi there, dance studio owners, and welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. My name is Lisa DeMeo, and I am the Inner Circle Program Coordinator here at the Dance Studio Owners Association. For the next 6 weeks, we are so excited to announce that Kim McSwain is back behind the microphone, and she's going to be taking over the podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, we have some huge news here in the Dance Studio Owners Association. The doors are now open to apply to join the Dance Studio Owners Inner Circle, but they are only open for a very limited time.
The results that I've seen since joining the Inner Circle is that I've seen my enrollment increase. I've seen a lot of my systems be much more efficient. I've seen myself as a leader grow. I've seen my team grow and be more confident in themselves. I've seen that I can take a couple days off and leave my studio, not be freaking out totally. So just being a part of the Inner Circle, I've in just a few months, I think I joined in October, so it's only been about 3 or 4 months, and there's been such tremendous growth in such a short amount of time.
If you are ready to take your studio to the next level and join coaches like Kim McSwain in the world's leading program for dance studio owners, make sure to apply for the Dance Studio Owners Inner Circle today at dsoa.com/inner circle. We hope you enjoy this special episode of the Win-Win Machine here at the Transform My Dance Studio podcast.
Okay, recording in progress, you guys. And listen, I am on fire today. This is going to be fantastic for our last one. Let's tie it together in a bow. Okay, let me tell you why. Because I'm not at home and it's not 5 o'clock in the morning and I've had some rest. Slept till 8:57. Whoa, you know it's a good one. And I've had a Red Bull and 2 cups of coffee. Let's be honest. Okay, so listen. I'm in St. Louis for a movement, and I'm at one of my favorite studios. And let me tell you why. I have a great memory of this studio, and I got tickled. I got tickled remembering about this, and I had to write him and say, can I even say this on my podcast? And he was like, yeah, you can say this on your podcast. We were here with Adrian Lee, and I love him dearly. And it was the first time that he came out with us. And I walk back and forth on the movements, and I go from class to class to class to class to class. And not because I'm checking up on my faculty, because I want to see them, because I love them so much. I'm such a nerd, and I want to learn from them. And I want to see how the classes are going, and I like being the principal and just kind of seeing how things are happening, you know. And I walked in, and God bless, I walked into a Broadway show. He was on fire. Okay, and was the class behind him? No, only 3 girls. It was obviously the girls that had the trio in the studio. And well, in the midst, towards the back, there was a girl that obviously had just come back from a killer vacay. And her hair was all done up in beads, from scalp to end. Okay, her mom did the VIP package, and they were rainbow colored, and they were full. Well, one of them broke. Well, I'll tell you what, she had a room full of besties, because when that strand broke and all 7,000 micro beads fell down, they fell to their fours, boom, hit the patella strong, and they started going after it like hungry hippos. You know the game where you gather the berries with your elbows, like soldier style, shoom shoom shoom, as fast as you can. They went to town, completely oblivious to the fact that Adrian was given a Broadway performance in the front with so much sweat coming off his brow. And at this point, he was in a full passe saute, yelling bam as high as he could, with the trio behind him following suit. Okay, and I was watching with so much pride and joy, and it was an unbelievable moment. And when I look back on it, it was so hysterical. Just the idea of just picturing him in the front, as high as he could, with such a pointed, strong foot underneath, right? Super high posse, perfectly placed, yelling bam, very sweaty, Full, strong out performance. I mean, as full out as you could get as a teacher. I mean, unnecessarily strong and full out. With the trio behind in their full costumes, and then hungry hippos happening in the back. And then there I am as the boss, watching all of it take place, so happy and confused at the same time. It was wonderful. But I wanted to share that with you guys just to make you laugh a little bit. But we're going to tie all this together. I hope they keep that in there for y'all. We're going to tie it all together, all the podcast about the win-win machine. And I think that that really ties it together because he's doing a great job, isn't he? Isn't he wonderful? He loves dancing. He loves teaching more than life. And that's what's happening. And you know what? They were having the time of their life. The trio and the hungry hippos in the back. Everybody was doing a great job. I'm looking at the 5 things. Let's get to business. How to instill excellence at all times. What's missing in your training. Roping in the parents. Breaking down walls and uniting your studio family. And continuing your education. Okay. So I'm sitting on my bed in the hotel room and I'm looking at this. And when I look at it overall, this is what comes to mind. So you're telling me you want me to maintain a business with high standards met at all times by everyone in the studio, and maintain a business with the utmost standards consistently. Okay? And I'm going to continue to learn and grow and educate myself and my team. Because it's easy to sit in my ways, right? It's easy to sit in our ways because it's comfortable. It's what we know. It works. But guess what? These kids are better than we were. They're better than we are now. Do they have our knowledge? No. Do they know how to put it in their body? No. We have to teach that. But we have to continue to grow with the times. We have to continue to grow with technology. We have to continue to grow and educate and learn ourselves. Otherwise, we're the fuddy-duddies, right? We have to value our customers. That's what I'm hearing. Not roping in the parents, valuing our customers. Are they a pain in the butt? Yeah, sometimes. Should they be? No. Can they be? Yes. Do we value them? Yes, very much. Do we appreciate them? Yes, we do. Do we let them know? Yes. And how do we let them know? By taking care of them before they ask. Right on? It's our job to make everyone feel welcome. In the classroom, to work for us, to feel appreciated. Last night, and I'll tell you this wasn't my idea. This came from someone else in the company. Matthew, sweet angel baby Matthew, who I adore, and so does everybody else. Matthew, his flight was messed up. He was coming from Canada. His flight got delayed. He was going to be landing at the same time he was supposed to catch another flight to come to St. Louis. He was going to be landing. It got pushed back. Awful. He wasn't even going to leave till 2 in the morning. He wasn't going to get here till 3 something. I told business relations. Business relations says to me, well, you've got to go put something in his room. You got to go get some waters. You got to go put some food in his room. You got to go put a note in his room. Go get him a better room. Make sure his lights are on. Make sure his TV's on. Make sure everything's nice for him when he gets there. Make sure he knows that he's appreciated. He's sorry that he had a bad day of travel. You had all of this. You know what I said? I didn't even think of that. Does that make me a butthead boss? I guess. You know why? Because I'm so used to traveling like that too. That's normal. That's what I said. That's normal. That's what we do every weekend. He's like, that doesn't make it right. Show your faculty how much you care about them, Kim. Show them that you appreciate that he had to go through that to get there to work for you the next morning. I said, wow. 1, you're the sweetest guy on earth. 2, that is so sweet to think about that. And 3, thank you for telling me that. It's not that I don't value Matthew more than anything on earth, because he knows that. Everybody knows I carry him on my head like a hat because I adore him. But my brain doesn't work like that because I work just like him, and I'm used to missing my flight, and I'm used to doing the same thing, and I'm used to putting up with all that. It's what we do as teachers and choreographers and owners and people in this business. That's what we do. But we got to really think about that, valuing the people that work for us. Thinking, have I shown them today how much I appreciate them? Have I shown the parents how much I appreciate them? Have I told the kids how much I appreciate them? You know, we've got to value everybody. And we might get a little lovey-dovey today on this, talking about, you know, the things that we might do differently as a CEO, as an owner, as a boss, as a teacher, as a friend. But we have to think about, you know, the win-win machine, and that's being excellent, and that's valuing things, and that's going above and beyond at all times. You're saying, great, no pressure, just be awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, you know, when they say not to go on a diet, but go on a lifestyle change. That's what this whole thing is, and that's what I've realized. Is it, you know, a lot of pressure? Hell yes. But it's almost like, you know, they say the great are different, are a different species. It's what you signed up for. It's what I signed up for. I got a cool book, guys, and I want to tell you about it. It's and I don't know if I'm exactly getting this right, but I was sent to it by a friend, and it's called Greatness. The book is called Greatness, and apparently this guy interviewed as many successful athletes, CEOs, businessmen. God, I'm running a blank right now, but as many successful greats of the greats, tops of the tops, incredible people that he could find over 30, 40 years. And he made a book on what they all found in common, what they all did, what their recipes were, all these great things. And he wrote a book called Greatness. And each chapter is bound by a sticker. And you can only read one chapter at a time. And you have to reflect on that chapter. And I bought the book. It's a $100 book. And it sits on an easel. And it's all white, which I love because I think white is so pure and clean. And I'm going to read this book when I feel like I'm ready. And I don't know if I'm ready, you guys. And it's almost like you get to that point where you have to make that choice to stop all the bullshit and decide to win. You know? Are you ready to win? And that means stepping up to the plate every day, all day, every day, and being excellent. And that means being excellent in your mind, in your body, in your soul, in your heart, in your spirit, in your relationships, every day, even when you don't feel like it, guys. Do you still believe in what you're fighting for? Do you? Well, I got to be honest. I do. Do I feel like fighting some days? No. Because it gets heavy. It gets heavy. But I believe in so much of what I'm doing, and I believe in so much in the people that are doing it with me, that I'm going to get up and I'm going to put my armor on every flipping day, and I'm going to go, no matter how tired I am, or not how much I don't want to, or how much I feel like I can't. You don't have that choice but to fight. Do you understand me? Right? And if it's about you feeling sorry for yourself, if it's about you not having the time, figure it out. Your priorities lie where you want your priorities to lie. I'm going to say it again. Your priorities lie where you want your priorities to lie. And I think that a lot of times We're too busy looking at the what we don't have or what's going to happen next that we're not living in the now, right? We're not living in the now. Well, it'll be great when this happens. Well, if only this will go away. Well, only if this will, when next season starts. If only in fall. If only I can get through recital. If only, I can get the enrollment up to this. Well, if I can only get rid of that teacher, only if this will happen. If only this will happen. Well, listen here, Buttercup. If you keep always looking at something else, you're going to be in a bad mood all the time. You're going to have to find some joy in now, right? You're going to have to find some joy in now. And that's just me being honest, right? That's just me being honest. Because if you don't find any joy in now, you're always searching. And then you've lost the spirit in laughter and fun of life. And then what are you doing if you're dealing with kids? Then you're just a grown-up. And then nobody likes you. Nobody likes grown-ups. Tell the truth, right? Isn't that the truth? How many people like kids? Everybody likes a kid. Everybody likes a puppy. Everybody likes a kitty. And if you don't, then you're just a horrible person. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously, you can't literally honestly say, I don't like a kid. I mean, there's some kids that are annoying. You got some kids. You got those kids. But then you can't honestly fault a child. Kids are the greatest. God, they're the greatest. I love them. Now, let's do this. I want us to just live in the moment, and make the most of the days. Each day. Each day. Like, think about this. What was the greatest part of your day? So far, the greatest part of my day. Well, it's sitting here talking to you guys. And you're thinking, Kim, you're talking to yourself. Exactly. See what I'm saying? Greatest part of my day was talking to myself. Wonderful. I found joy in it. Love it, love, love. Great. No, imagine if each week was our last. Just a week, not a day. A week was our last week, okay? But we couldn't change our schedule, and we couldn't tell anyone. We just had to change our attitude and our behavior. Picture that, okay? Put your mind in this mind frame with me. Imagine it's your last week. Sunday comes around. Sunday rolls around. Angel from heaven, me, comes down, and I say, listen, this is your last week. But you can't change your schedule. Can't tell anybody. I want you to live it, but you can't change anything. Just your attitude or your behavior. What would you do different? Would you walk around and sulk? Would you be a turd about it? Would you act a fool? Or would you love people more? Would you enjoy life more? Would you, oh my gosh, how would you behave? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. I think I would hug people more. I think instead of hating my job, I would find the joys in it. I think instead of finding fault in everybody, I would find the best in them. So let's think about this. And I want you to write these things down, okay? This is kind of my homework with you. This is kind of my friendship stuff. Pretend we're having a sleepover. And we're hanging out as best friends, and this is what we're doing. What would you do different as a CEO? You get 1 week, but you get to leave your legacy, okay? You get 1 week. You get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You get that because then you get to go home for Sunday fun day. What would you do different as a CEO? Write that down. But you get to leave this legacy, right? How would you go back differently as your last week? Oh my gosh. I know what I would do. I'd be more on it. I'd be so detailed. I'd be so detailed. I'd leave lists. Oh my goodness, I would leave so many lists. I'd be so detailed. I'd call meeting. I'd immediately call meeting. And I would be so delegated. I would delegate. I would not be afraid to tell people exactly what I wanted down so specifically, I think. What would you do? What would you do? I don't know, right? Think about that. Spend some time and really think what you would do differently as a CEO. How would you approach it? I don't think I would be apologetic for anything. I would feel very secure in what I would do. I feel very secure now. I would just do more. I would just do more. I feel like I would have more energy. I feel like I would be like, boom! Instead of 4:30, I'd be up at 3:30. I would pull a Mark Wahlberg. For sure. Yeah. Now think about this, you guys. Now write this one down. What about the studio director? So now you finished your boss work. Now you go in as this director of the studio. What would you do differently? You know, you've got that hat too. And I pictured that hat as the one that walks in, is saying names, doing high fives, holding babies, knowing everybody, checking, making sure everybody's there, they're in their places, they know what they're doing. What would you do differently? Are you doing that? I just see that so much differently. I see the CEO role as different as the studio director role, different as the team leader role, different as a teacher role. I just see, and you're thinking, Kim, God bless. I know. That's why I don't own a studio. It's hard. What you guys do is amazing. It's hard. It's amazing. And then a team leader, you go in there to lead your team is for that faculty. Unless you have a faculty team leader, that is your job to do. You get there before classes start and you have a team meeting. Y'all ready to go today? Who's pumped? We excited? Everybody's there, making sure that nobody's just rolling into class. Just 5 minutes before rolling into class, everybody needs to be there 15 minutes before class starts, 15 minutes before class starts, so that everybody's there, everybody's got their music, phones are turned off, everybody's ready for class, everything's pumped. What would you do different as a teacher? My classes would be so over the top and I would be so loving, even more than I am now. And I would make sure that every kid knew how special they were and that they could take on this world and that they were going to do something big and that they were so wonderful and amazing. Would you do anything different as a teacher? Would you be more excited in class? Would you be more invested in your kids? Would you bring props? Would you have contests? Would you be more engaged in your curriculum? Would you change your music up more? What would you do? I bet you might. Would you change anything about you as a person, like when you're in public? Would that change? If you knew you had 1 week left, would that change? Now you're thinking, Kim, you're supposed to be talking to me about my studio. You're supposed to be talking to me about my business, how to grow my business, how to make my dancers better dancers, and now you're asking me how I'm a better person in life. Oh, and now I'm going to go and talk about being a better wife or husband and a mother or father and a friend? Yeah, guys, I am, because you know why? Being better for yourself, making yourself happy, is an extension of who you are in your workplace. Trust. Because there's a lot of times, you guys, that when I go in and I work with you, I can tell who's happy truly, personally, and who's not. Based on how you run your business, how you speak of your faculty, how you speak of your students, and if you're really just run down. So when I'm asking you, do you know what you're fighting for? I want you to fight for yourself first. Are you happy? I want you to fight for yourself. I want you to fight for your cause. And then I want you to fight to win. That's it. You got to be happy first. You got to know what you're fighting for. And then just go win. Right? That's how I think. I don't think you should ever worry about what anybody else thinks about you. Don't ever worry about what anybody else is doing. I never put my head on a swivel. Don't ever think you can do it by yourself. Get the best that you can get to stand beside you, behind you. Get yourself an army. And don't look back. I think that's my main advice, you guys. When we're talking about tying this all together, that is my advice for you. Glasses are coming off. I want you to keep a sense of humor and laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't have too much self-pride that you won't go for what you want. Get after it. Go for what you want. If you fall down 9 times, get up 10. Make sure you trust everybody that you work with and that everybody is fighting for the same cause that you are. I wish you guys all the best. And I hope that you know that everything that I say comes from the best place ever. And only from what I know. I can only say what I know. So, love you guys. And I hope all your dreams come true. Signing off now, guys. See you later. Much love.
We hope you loved this week's episode of the Win-Win Machine here on the Transform My Dance Studio podcast as much as we did. The great news for you is that the doors are now open to join the Dance Studio Owners Inner Circle. The bad news? They are only open for a very limited time. So if you are ready to take your studio to the next level, make sure to apply for the Dance Studio Owners Inner Circle today at dsoa.com/inner circle.
In joining in the Inner Circle, my profit has grown 20% every year since I've been in the Inner Circle. It is 10 times what I pay to be in the Inner Circle that I have grown each year. I initially thought I would just join the Inner Circle for 1 year and get me over a hump, and it's been so life-changing that I know it's something that I need to continue to do to be a successful business owner and for me personally to be a successful team leader.